What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. It is the 27th day of December, and here we are sitting at about $1.84. 7 hours left in the day. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Here we are. Here we are at the base of this range, setting up for, I don't know. Is this a double bottom with a weird hook? Is it a triple bottom and we move up, or are we setting up to go a little bit lower? I really wouldn't be surprised if XRP did see slightly lower prices. I was forecasting that for the altcoin markets as a whole to see about a 10 to 15% drop. If we see that with XRP, being that this is in the top 10, if the other chart is expecting a 10 to 15% drop, maybe XRP is expecting a 8 to 12% drop, maybe something like that, or maybe even less. A little bit lower low. Even a 6% drop from here would give us a lower low, right? And it's very possible. I just think that if this were to be a double bottom, we wouldn't be doing this right now, right? Double bottom, we'd be moving up. The fact that it's not a double bottom, we've got this flat base with descending highs, just makes me think that we go a little bit lower. And that's okay. We go a little bit lower, so what? Who cares? Not a big deal, right? We look at this on the daily time frame again. Was it this low to high here? Right in the money zone, interacting with this. We rejected the 2618 for resistance. Might we go down to the 3618 for support? How low is that? How far away is that from here, percentage-wise? It's about a 14% drop. I mean, that could happen. XRP could drop 14%. It seems a bit much, in my opinion. That seems a bit much, in my opinion, but still, you could drop 14%. Maybe we see a slightly lower low than this low here. We actually interact with our 3113 at $1.75 there. We get a 5% drop. That seems a little bit more appropriate if we're being fair. Something like that. But still, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw lower lows. And what we're expecting, the reaction we're expecting here is that, you've got a flat base for support. You break that base, and then you rip back to the upside. We're going to get a fake out. A fake out is when you break out, but it's very short-lived and rejects to the opposite direction and oftentimes breaks out to the opposite direction. If we look at this, for example, let's just see here. Taking these highs down like this, right? This was a fake out, right? You moved up, and as soon as you broke out, that's when you topped off and you came back down. You actually came back down with a vengeance. It took you a lot less time to move down than it did for you to move up, right? It took you a lot longer to move up from these same points. And you broke out again, you kind of disrespected this line, but these are all little fake outs right here, right? That's the proper reaction of a fake out. What we're calling for now is a fake out to the downside. Fake out, and then we'll come back up. Does that mean that if we fake out, we just drop through the floor like this, or if we fake out here that we just pump through the roof? No. No. But likely from there, when we break out, we will probably pull back to these areas of resistance, these areas of support, and support here, somewhere around 220 to 230. That'd be my expectation. We look at this on the 1 hour time frame. We zoom in and we'll zoom back out here, okay? 1 hour time frame. It's Saturday. It's going to be boring. We're moving sideways, okay? Typically things are pretty boring during these Saturdays, right? I mean, like here you're moving sideways and being boring. This was really like Saturday to Sunday. You're moving sideways being boring. Here you're moving sideways being boring. This was your Saturday to Sunday moment here, right? We're moving sideways being boring. We probably continue that. Indicators have reset themselves. RSI rejecting the 50 makes me think we go lower. Stochastics make me think we go lower, and the MACD is bearish, of course. 4 hour time frame here. Looking at this, bearish on the stochastics, RSI, and the MACD all together. You had bullish divergence here with your MACD. What happened, man? You didn't do anything with it. You're still here. You went up a little bit. Now you're back down. It's not good. Now you're building bearish momentum instead of actually no. I guess technically you still are decaying in bearish momentum. Technically, no, there's no bullish divergence now, but still, you're not doing anything with it. I don't know. I'm not thinking much of this here. We look at this on the daily time frame. We zoom out a little bit. I don't like the MACD. It is ugly. It's kind of weird, but it is ugly. Stochastics are deceitful. It's almost like you look like you have bullish divergence, but you don't. I would think that you keep coming down, and the RSI is bearish as well. Just come down. Get a little bit lower. It's not that big of a deal. It is possible that we move up a little bit before we go down, and if we do move up to about like $2.04, hell, even if we move all the way up to about like $2.20, I still believe that we move down. I wouldn't be convinced that this is the low, that we found our low, until we're above these highs at 230, 229. Until then, any move up from here likely comes down, and we likely do see lower lows. It wouldn't be surprising at all, being that it's Saturday, if on Monday maybe we open up the week to the downside, we come back up, but January, the beginning of January, I would expect that we do sell off a little bit. So whether it happens now or we pump up into the end of the year and then we dump off going into the beginning of January, at some point soon, over the next week or two, I would expect that we see lower prices than these lows here. But I got nothing else, really. I expect that XRP will make a dramatic recovery in Q1, Q2, Q3. Q2, I don't know. Q2's April, May, June. Q1 and Q2 should be good. Q3 is probably late Q2 to mid Q3 will probably be boring, and then late Q3 to Q4 is probably going to be exciting again. I mean, 2026, we're going to look back at it, and it's going to be this very exciting year, I think, I hope. But regardless of how it is for crypto, just looking at XRP here, again, we're in our box. We're at the base of our box. It's a very obvious point to buy. It's the most obvious point to buy out of any chart that we've seen so far today. And when we recover, we're likely going to go to that $13 to $16 promised land. We'll pop a couple bottles of champagne up there too when we do it. But that probably won't happen until the end of Q1, if not even sometime in Q2, that we're up here. We'll be making this move well in advance. January, end of January, February is going to be an exciting month, but it'll probably be the end of Q1, if not beginning of Q2, that we're up in this area. We'll see. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.